Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going over a new topic, quadratic equations. In this video, we're not going to learn how to solve quadratic equations, but rather introduce them and learn how quadratic equations are different from linear equations. Before watching this video, if you don't know what linear equations are, you should probably check out my videos on linear equations. Anyways, let's get into it. First step, the standard forms. Like linear equations, quadratic equations also have a standard form. For a linear equation, the standard form or slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. However, for quadratic equations, the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. An example of this is 3x squared plus 7x plus 5 equals 0. In this equation, a is 3, b is 7, and c is 5. The 0 in this equation symbolizes the y-axis. We can use this equation to graph a quadratic function, but we'll go over that later. Now, what makes a quadratic equation different from a linear equation? The one thing that makes them different from each other is the ax squared in the quadratic equation. Linear equations don't have that x squared part. In quadratic equations, you can take away the bx and the c, and it'll still be a quadratic equation. However, if you take away the ax squared, the equation will turn into a linear equation. So if an equation has an exponent of 2, it is a quadratic equation, but if it has no exponents, it is linear. Even if it has an exponent of 3 or 5, it's still not a quadratic equation. Quadratic equations only have exponents of 2. Next, let's talk about the graph. When graphing linear equations, you will end up with a straight line like this. But when you graph quadratic equations, you end up with something completely different. This right here is called a parabola. A parabola is a symmetric curve that either curves up or down. Every parabola has a point where the curve changes direction. This point is called the vertex. Now, quadratic equations have 3 types of answers. Either there are 2 answers, 1 answer, or 0 answers. If there are 2 answers, that means that the vertex is below the x-axis. If there is 1 answer, that means the vertex is laid directly on the x-axis. If there are 0 answers, that means that the vertex is above the x-axis. The answers to quadratic equations are called roots. These are the points where the parabola intercepts the x-axis, which is why in standard form, y is 0. You see, linear equations graph into straight lines, meaning that there is only one point in the line that intersects the x-axis. However, in quadratic equations, since the parabola always slopes back to the x-axis, sometimes there are 2 points of intersection, which is why some quadratic equations have 2 answers instead of 1. Anyways, that's all you need to know about quadratics for now. In the next video, we'll go over how to solve quadratic equations. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video.